Moving on to the second activity, this one is called Opera Tune. For this activity, the students will learn about the composer Mozart for the first 20 minutes of the session. During these 20 minutes, they will learn about his life and his work, especially about the Magic Flute, which is an opera made by him. During the class, the students will watch a scene of that opera. Later on, they will see a scene in a comic version made by the teacher. The specific scene is called Priest's Advice on Women. In it, the priest explains how women should never act without a man's advice. This topic about gender roles will be discussed in class before the explanation of the activity for about 10 minutes. After that, the students will be divided again into the previous groups, which were 6, and they will be asked to create a comic of a new modern version, changing the women's stereotypes of the scene we saw in class. The aim is that they learn about gender roles and how to spot them, as they are free to choose if they want to do it digitally or on paper. They will be provided with cardboard, colored pencils, pens, rubbers, and decoration tools to make the comic as original as they can, as well as one tablet per group and an app called Storyboard That or Canva to create the comic. They will be given 2 sessions of 1 hour each to finish the task and present it to the whole class in the last 20 minutes of the second session. When it comes to the picture framework of this activity, at its minimum, this activity amplifies learning by giving students a voice through drawing and collaborative reflection. If students use tablets creatively, exploring composition tools, researching modern role models, or remaining the scene with multimedia elements, then the activity reaches the creative transformative level. Overall, as creating a digital comic is optional, the students don't need to give any sort of personal information. However, if they decide to create a digital one, we can see that Canva protects the data of the students better compared to the other app called Storyboard That. However, both apps are very safe for the children's use and they won't have any issues. For the evaluation rubric of Activity 2, I decided to mark them from 0 to 4 again. The items included in this rubric are directly related to evaluation criteria 1.2 and 2.2. In contrast with the last rubric, I created only 4 items since it was a simpler activity to evaluate. Lastly, for activity number 3, this one is called Voices of the Opera Queens. Following the previous activity, the students will learn during a whole class of 1 hour the women in the opera, and they will be asked to take notes on their notebooks as we will work with them during our next session for the activity. Once they have learned about the women, the students will be divided again in the same groups as the last 2 activities, and will be provided with 1 tablet per group and 1 envelope which they cannot open until the teacher says so. When everything is settled, each group will be given a name of one of the women we have seen in the last session, which will be kept secret from the other groups. This will be Group 1, Forerunner, Francesca Gazzini. Group 2, Baroque, Barbara Strozzi. Group 3, Classicism, Maria Teresa Agnesi Pinottini. Group 4, Romanticism, Louis Bertin. Group 5, Modernism, Ethel Smith. Group 6, Contemporary, Keijo Sahario. With them given, the groups will be asked to open the envelope in which they will find a puzzle of the portrait of their woman. With this, they will be asked to create a stop-motion video in which they will have to complete the puzzle, and with their voices in voiceover, they will have to create the clues with the information from their notes, so that the whole class can guess what woman it is. To create the stop-motion, the students can use the app TikTok or CapCut. This activity will last a whole session. The first 10 minutes for the explanation, 35 minutes to create the stop motion, and 15 minutes to present the videos. With this activity, our project will be done and done. For this PicMart framework, the stop motion creation process is highly engaging and original. The students are not just learning about historical women in opera, but they're also storytelling, interpreting, and performing that knowledge through digital means. This task is impossible in a traditional pen and paper setup and clearly represents transformational use of technology. For the e-learning tools rubric, overall, both of these apps are perfect for the creation of a stop motion, since their editors are very simple to use and will not be confusing for the students. They work very similarly, and since they are related to social media, the information is kept private but up to an extent. For this last part, the evaluation rubric of Activity 3, I decided to mark them from 0 to 4 as well. The items included in this rubric are directly related to evaluation criteria 1.2 and 2.1. That is why I decided to create 5 items. For this first part, number 3, I'm going to explain my 5 critical elements of this course that I would like to keep permanently on my PLD. First of all, PLE is a system that helps learners take control of and manage their own learning through tools, communities, and resources. It's dynamic, customizable, and deeply personal, focusing on autonomy, reflection, and creativity in learning. My very first element of this PLE is Blogger. It is a reflective journal and knowledge archive. It can be used with a group very easily, and it looks really cool. Another element is stop motion. It is a creative way to create videos for our future students, and its process is very easy. Another one would be Padlet. This helps with collaboration and knowledge building. It is a very easy way to make a whole class post something interesting so that everyone feels represented. Up next is Copilot. By integrating AI-powered tools, my environment becomes more responsive to learning needs and more adaptive to personal learning styles. And lastly, ACAD. This is a framework to design and analyze meaningful learning activities. As a future teacher, this can evolve in the medium or long-term PLE, as my teaching practice becomes more collaborative and research-informed. Through this diagram, all of my elements are connected to my PLE. ACAD, Stop Motion, Padlet, Blogger, and Copilot. All of them are the same color except ACAD, since this one is a long-term one for me. For this next question, I have chosen question 4 and the areas 2, 3, and 4. I have chosen area 2, digital resources, because this area refers to how educators select, create, and modify digital resources for teaching and learning. It includes using digital content effectively, evaluating its quality and relevance, and adapting or remixing it to meet learners' needs. But then, why is it relevant? Well, it helps personalize learning and ensures materials fit students' needs. An example for this was when I used YouTube videos to explain a topic for a task. I learned how to choose short, clear videos that match the lesson and keep students interested. For the area 3, teaching and learning, this refers to integrating digital tools into lessons, planning, and delivery. It's relevant because it makes learning more interactive, flexible, and student-centered. During a task about the merge cube, I learned how to create an interactive quiz using Genially to encourage participation. I practiced giving points for teamwork and good behavior, which made my classmates feel more positive and fun. And lastly, for Area 4, empowering learners, this part refers to supporting inclusion and autonomy among your students. It basically ensures how the learners can learn at their own pace. During this subject task, as I have been multiple times to start, I learned that every time that there was a group of classmates trying to do an activity, I tried to be really focused on them and I wasn't giving them space to actually learn something. As the task went by, I learned to let them be more free and let them be the ones who actually control their learning. And finally, for this final part of the exam, question number 5, I think that to me, honestly, this was a very hard and stressful subject since most times people didn't really do much and there were maybe tasks that we had to do 3 people all by ourselves. And to me, I think that I deserve around an 8 or 8.5, as I think that's what my group members would also grade me. As for the hardest role, I think that to me the most challenging one was the analyst, as we had to evaluate our friends and it was very long. And lastly, for the utilization of AI, I think that honestly I didn't use it much, only to create the names of the activities and to help me create sort of a sketch so that I would develop it and so that I knew that I would like it and then my students would also like it and it would be appropriate. And this was my whole exam. I hope you liked it. You can find the transcription linked down below.